Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with a YouTube video to talk about bingo cards. I saw Darth made one, so we're like, you know what? Let's make our own. So I'm going to walk you guys through the bingo card we made for the reveal stream that's happening on March 27th on the Path of Exile stream. There will be Twitch drops enabled. You can tune into my stream for that as well. Just watching 2 hours on my channel on the 27th, you'll get a nice little guillotine finisher effect. I believe we have that video here somewhere. It's right here. Watch this. Boom! The guillotine drops. Pretty dope, actually. Look at that shit. Beautiful. Look at that. So that's happening. Anyways, I'll leave a link in the descriptions down below to the bingo card. It's posted on my Twitter right now, so do check it out. So essentially, I try to do our best here with the chat. We discussed it a bit before making it, and the idea is that we wanted no line to be super easy to deal with. So that's the whole purpose of this. So I'll walk you guys through it. Essentially, the very first one, swords and or animated weapon. We've seen some reveal stream posters like this one having swords in the picture, a forged master of swords, and therefore we wanted to add swords and or animated weapon because I hope we get both, but that is one of the bingo cards options. We have new uniques, and when we talk about new uniques, I'm talking about revealed uniques that we have not seen yet. In the meta shakeup changes, I want to be very clear that we're not talking about meta shakeups with new classes being introduced, but rather balance changes to existing classes or existing abilities in the form of shaving off the current overperforming builds such as Archmage and the Monk's Herald of Ice chaining and all those aspects. So that's kind of like the plan there. Charm and Flask rework. I'm not talking about like a minor buff and nerfs here and there. We're talking about reworking the way the Flask or the Charms works, either in the form of giving us more different types of flasks, in maybe giving us a utility flask option or something like that. So we're not talking about buffs and nerfs. We're talking about reworking the system one way or another. Animate Guardian or Animate Companion. I believe the data mine was saying Animated Companion, but Animate Guardian is what it's called in Path of Exile 1. This is a reference to the image that we have here. This guy. Because this looks like the mercenary and a ballista kind of thing, but this dude is in the image as well, which makes us believe that we're going to be seeing a Animate Guardian, potentially, so that's part of the bingo card. We have the third ascendancy for all current existing classes. They've teased the mercenary one. We've seen something about the warrior. So we'll see if we're going to get a third ascendancy for every class available on this reveal. So this will only be checked if literally all the existing classes gets their third ascendancy. New skills for existing weapon types. That would basically be there's a lot of abilities that are missing in the current system, and or if they're adding new ones to the existing weapon types or skills that we have now. So not new weapon types, but the existing weapon types getting new skills. Spectres, this was supposed to be introduced in the actual early access launch in December, but they ran into technical issues, and I thought we were going to get Spectres in the next couple of weeks after that. That didn't happen, so I'm actually hoping that we're going to see Spectres being introduced with a 0.2 patch. Next up, we have a Divine Orb Sync, and when I talk about them introducing a system for us to have a Divine Orb Sync is to halt or minimize or at least decrease the level of inflation that's happening in the current state of the game. Whether that is in the form of a benchcraft or whatever the hell they want, that is part of this bingo card. However, I will not be accepting us using Divine Orb on unique items to be considered a Divine Orb Sync, so that's not included in this one. More MTX import. This is about talking about the MTXs that works in Path of Exile 1 and making them available in PoE 2. We're expecting this to be the case. We'll see if we're going to check this box off or not. Defense reworked. We're talking about balance changes between life and energy shield, for example. Maybe this is including some changes to armor. All of these things would be included in defense reworked. We talked about how bleed, for example, they've had the intentions of bleed being something that was an anti-energy shield. However, that's not been the case. Instead, as long as you have energy shield, you just can't be bled. And this is going to be something that might change. In this case, defense rework box can be checked. Flipping affix tiers, so tier 1 is the highest right now. The higher the tier affix number is, the better the rolls are. This is completely flipped upside down compared to Path of Exile 1, where a tier 0 or tier 1 modifier is the highest tier, making us have a very natural, easy way to see on an item if the tier of the modifier is a high tier or not, because now we see a tier 10 of that or tier 8 of this, and we don't know what the highest tier is. Maybe they'll give some description of that, but this box will be checked if they just flip that back so that tier 1 is the highest again. Huntress reveal, where obviously this is in the free section in the middle. We're assuming this is going to happen based on the teasers we've seen. And then we have Einar, since the reveal is talking about Dawn of the Hunt, having a Huntress in there. It seems like we're all kind of believing that we're going to see maybe the bestiary League mechanic and or Einar. So we have League mechanics in here as well. But Einar might be reintroduced since we have been introduced to time travel. I don't think it's far-fetched to expect something like the old classic Einar NPC to come back. Meaningful combat. I joined this one off DM, by the way. Don't tell him. This is basically them saying the words meaningful combat, and we check this box, and we're very likely going to experience that. Next one is hard to read. It says respecking Ascendancy, so that you can play an Infernalist and say, you know what, I didn't like this. I'm going to go to a Blood Mage instead, then realize how bad it is and go back to Infernalist. Should be available for us. I also added that or being able to change quest reward choices. For example, the idea of, I misspelled. There's a spelling error. Chaussee. Oh my god. Whatever. We'll leave it in there. Nice, GHAZZY. Chaussee. So if you want to have a changing quest reward Chaussee, the idea of this is for example, Venom Crypt's Poison Flask. You can choose between Mana Regen and Chaos Rest, which are the two different stages of the campaign that most people go for. And then you have some people going for the attribute ones, but there's no current way of allowing us to respec this choice. So that will be for this box. Druid reveal. Obviously we've seen the GGG tease a lot of new stuff, but obviously that we've seen with a track record history in the past 12 years, we've seen them basically do really cool teasers, hyping everyone up, and then the reveal stream happened, and we're still blown out of the water, which means that they might actually have a Druid reveal, locked and loaded, but waiting for the reveal stream to reveal this. So we're gonna have this in the bingo card. New crafting methods. This could be in the form of new currency orbs. It could be other mechanics that allows us to work with crafting methods. I would say that if they do a rework on the expedition content, that would also be fulfilling the idea of new crafting methods, I would assume. So that's kind of how you want to check this box. Drop rates, we're talking about either Magic Find changes or the way drops works in the game with different types of rarities. So any types of drop rate changes that they might mention should be checking this box. Then we have travel skill and or mobility being balanced or reworked. Right now, boots, for example, they are mandatory to have movement speed because the game is very slow. And certain classes, I mean, big shout out to Angermus for the insane performance in the races for the Act 3 Doriani kills, is basically just using Shield Charge and the Leap Slam to run around, but not every class has access to that type of mobility. So we're hoping to see some balance and rework changes to check this box. Then I'm in the way a little bit, but we have new League mechanic. This is, if we get Einar, it's very likely that we'll get the Bestiary as well. So those two are kind of the same, but new League mechanic might not necessarily be Einar if we don't get him. So this one is another box you can check. Then we have map completion and tower rework. This is for the end game objectives of finishing a map. And so anything that's going to rework that kind of system and or the towers to something that is better than the current iteration that we've seen that they're going for is going to be able to check this box. On the third row in the bottom, we have new act or acts. Basically, if we get a new act or more, then you can check this box. Boss balance, we're talking about map bosses, pinnacle bosses, even act bosses. Any type of balance changes affecting those units should be checking this box. And last but not least, new tabs in the form of something like tablet tabs or fragment tabs. If we get a new tab available to us, and whether or not it is a new one or if it is a reintroduced one from Path of Exile 1, you should be able to check this box. And that's it. That's the bingo card that I made, and I'm very satisfied with it. If you like this bingo card, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and don't mention my spelling error, Chaussee. Just don't. I see it. Okay, you don't have to comment it. I get it. I see chat about it already. I don't need that in my YouTube comments. Don't worry about that. I get it. Okay. But don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe. keep rocking.